On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains.
Coming to you straight from San Diego, California. Let's welcome our host, April Mahoney.
Well, we're not mortified. We are here on the edge. Yes, Brains, we are here. We are here with the beautiful Alisia Antoinette. And we are going to be talking about relationships, okay? And I told her, I said, I'm going to put you to the task. Because when we first got together and, talked about doing this interview, life was not like it is right now. It was different. We were talking about hugging and kissing and smooching and, keeping it spicy. But right now, we're going to try to just kind of keep it leveled out because I'm reading in the newspaper every day across the globe, there is an increase of domestic violence. Women hitting on men, men hitting on women, women and men hitting on the kids. People are really tense. Yeah. We want to talk about that. We want to talk about how allowing each other some space and some breathing room. I know it may be small in a, cramped apartment or whatever, but again, finding that time to still find that separate space so that when you're together, you honor that and you appreciate that. What does the world of dating look like? Everybody's probably getting a freak on virtually.
But rightfully so.
Right.
Rightfully so.
Exactly. So, what does that look like? So, again, Brace, I want to welcome you home on the edge and welcome my beautiful guest, Alisia Antoinette, here. And tell us a little bit about you, wonderful, and how you show up in the world.
I show up in the world being my fabulous self. I'm the owner of Bonjour, Amour, Matchmaking, soon to be Bonjour, Amour, Lifestyles and Relationships. Uh-oh.
Girl, I'm good. Let me just get it on out of there. One good time. All right, we ready. Go ahead.
That's okay. So I am, for the last year and a half, I've been a matchmaker, dating coach, image consultant, all around relationship coach. So I am a curator of romantic getaways, experiences for married couples, and as well as providing singles with the tools they need to navigate this dating world. And prior to this event in the world, I host workshops and seminars, and that's where singles will get equipped there with real information, practical information. Prior to me starting my business, I was in the corporate world for about 5 or 6 years. I ran a department that did background investigations. And so basically you're looking for what's not being said, looking for signs of deception. So I translated that into my business. So in a more fun way, connecting singles and having fun with married couples and giving them just the great tools to have an amazing relationship.
Well, let's start on a positive note. The world of relationship and dating has changed so much since I was out there. I've been married to Mr. Magnificent for 35 years, girl. Yes, I don't even know what it feels like to try to pick up on somebody else, okay? That conversation don't even move me. Well, what does that look like now? What are you saying to your clients about looking for love in all the right places?
Well, one, it starts with you. You have to be a whole person first. And what does that look like? That means that if you're looking for that person to fulfill a void in you, then you're not ready for that relationship. Because I try to connect two whole people as opposed to someone who's saying, well, when I get married, I'll be happy then. Or when this happens, I'll be happy then. If you're not already in that place where you're happy with yourself and with your life, and you're just looking for a partner to share that with, that's really where the building up the singles come in. So that's what that looks like. A lot of singles nowadays, it depends on the age range. I've seen it across the board. Everyone has unrealistic expectations. Like you'll have someone who's making $40,000 a year. Nothing's wrong with that, but they'll have a list. Well, that person I connect with, that person has to be connected, making at least 6 figures or more. And I'm like, well, that's not, what are you bringing to the table? That type of person is not going to be attracted to that. It just depends. So you want to have realistic expectations and don't go into the experience of dating with a checklist. Like, okay, like it's not a job interview. You're there to discover someone's character and have some fun. You may make a friend. A lot of people don't understand being charming is a gift. It's an art. Be
Oh,
charming.
yes.
Have some fun. Have some confidence in yourself. So for singles who are maybe lacking in some of those areas, I come in and I coach you and give you tools, practical tools. I give you conversation starters. You want to ask open-ended questions, just like with anything. Ask someone else about themselves. So
Right.
that's how the dating world looks. I think some things are a lost art now because everything is so fast, but you'll
Well,
find that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I mean, it is a lost art. I mean, how do you bring sexy back? Men are really afraid to approach women because of the YouTube,
Yeah, me
YouTube
too.
movement, and I can't blame them. But in the workplace, but I'll be honest with you, Brains, I have been pushed up on by more women in the workplace than men. Oh yes. Okay, so what is that? Me one, me three,
Me something.
me something. Okay, so it's going on, but the art of being sexy, being seductive, being attractive, having that conversation, that is a dance.
It is.
And people are scared, they don't know to move forward, to move backwards. And then the world of online dating. Do you help your clients with some matchmaking and what to look for on online dating?
Absolutely. And I don't poo-poo that, especially now. If I was, I encourage all the single people to get. Well, let me preface this. You get what you pay for in everything in life. So if you're going to a free service, that's going to be reflective of the type of people that you meet. Now, It's not guaranteed that if you pay for something, you're going to meet, you're not going to meet someone who's low quality as well, but it evens out your odds. You get what you pay for. So what I would do, I would definitely create a profile. I would help people with their profile and verbiage and your image. Your image says everything. You don't want to, women forget that men are visual, but they don't need to see all the goods. They still like having a little something to the imagination. So sexy, to me, Kim Kardashian, she changed her image, but she still looks sexy, all covered up with that hugging, slinky dress.
Absolutely.
Still looks very sexy. Not saying that everyone has to do that, but a lot of women misconstrue that having all the goods out there means that she's going to get a date.
Or sending a picture of your junk.
Yeah, right on the opposite side too. Women don't care for that either. So it's a lot of, it's a way to navigate that smartly. You still want to be safe, because in my mindset, since I came from a different world prior to starting my business, I trained a lot with the sheriff's department, a lot of people who work with like the FBI and things like that. So in my mindset, safety first. So you can always get a Google phone number if you want to communicate that way. You can just say, you don't have to give the specific city, you can say vicinity and things like that. So remember, safety first, especially with technology today, everyone being so savvy. So remember, safety first. But yes, I would be online, especially right now, because a lot of single people, especially, business people that normally wouldn't be online, they are online now because they have no choices. They're still looking for love. So now you have a pool of people that normally wouldn't be accessible to you.
Right.
Now they're accessible. So
you
want to get exactly. Now you want to get a good profile. You want to be smart and, try to get what you pay for.
Well, now wait, let me stop you right there, because you say get what you pay for. Brains, go back and listen to my other show with Carol Zingular. She paid for it. She was catfished out of $400,000.
Oh, no. You got to be smart. No,
but within 3 months, and I said, what kind of spell did he put on you, boo? What could he have been saying? And I said, you never kissed him. I said, did he send you a picture of his junk? She said, no, you can't do that. What in the world could he have been saying to her from a coffee shop in Nigeria that had her write almost $500,000? Now, what are some of the key warning signs? Give me 3. When you're online dating, what are 3 absolute warning signs, no-nos, signals that say, hey,
old picture, a picture that's been doctored, especially now you can tell that a picture has been doctored. He's in another country too. To me, someone who's in another country, that's another red flag too. Did she not know he was in another country?
She did. This is what she told me, bless her heart. She told me that she thought he was German, but he ended up being Nigerian.
Either way.
You know, but I'm just saying, you couldn't hear the accent difference.
Yeah.
And I think
it doesn't matter.
So hungry. She was so hungry for that affection.
Yeah.
And she said he was saying all the right things and
there you go.
All the right songs. And, you know, just one situation. My red flag is the first time you asked me for some cheese.
Yeah, no, exactly. They shouldn't ask you for money. That's a big red flag. That's like next. If he's asking you for, or they tell you a sob story and then they ask you for money. I can't pay my bills. My grandmama, she's sick. We need to get her a new respirator or something. Or something. All those are red flags. And trust your gut. A lot of times, because of loneliness, you don't listen to that inner voice. You don't listen to your gut. So clearly, those were red flags all along. But because of the loneliness and the attention that she's getting, she just disregarded all those red flags because your gut knows. Your gut speaks to you all the time. So she just ignored that. So those are just use common sense. If they're
common sense isn't so common.
I know, exactly. Okay. So asking for money, pictures don't match up, information is shady. So it's just there. Those are very common, easy things like, this doesn't look right. If it doesn't look right, move on. If it doesn't feel right, move on.
And in this time of Zoom, you know, I need to see you. I need to see you one-on-one via the computer screen.
Right. And if they're evasive on that, then next. That means he got his wife in the back room and he just did back.
You know, and I tell you, this is another kerfuffle for the side chick. You know, the side chick was able to, you know, be with the boyfriend or whatever. There will be none of that.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, she needs to find her a single one. You know, she needs to get real.
You do. Okay, so now let's talk to the married couple. You know, they've been married for a long time. I've been married for 35 years, and I tell you, it's spicy.
Right.
I work hard at it, you know, because it is a dance. What suggestions do you have for some married couples right now, just to kind of how to keep it, you know, engaging and just really enjoy each other in this time that we're so close together?
Reminiscing, taking a walk down memory lane. You know, talk about, how did we first meet? Let's talk about that, because when you start reminiscing, it brings up those feelings, those positive feelings. And then you're like, oh yeah, then you start remembering, oh, that's why I married you. That's why I like you. Right. You know, those type of things. Reminiscing is a great way, pulling out old pictures, sharing your dreams. Like, hey, now we have some time to share our dreams. You know, let's figure out what place you're at, because, you know, I've been married for a long time too. I've been married 36 years. When you've been married for a while, you know, you're not the same person you were, you know, years ago when you first met, and you grow and evolve, and you have to leave space for those changes, and you grow and evolve at different times too. So definitely start sharing each other's dreams. Like, hey, where are you at now? What's something you always wanted to do? Have you ever considered this? What, you know, just start really reconnecting, getting to know each other again. And as far as the bedroom goes, maybe just ask each other, say, hey, do you still like it when I do X, Y, and Z? Is that the right thing now?
Can you still bend your back like that, girl?
Or remember that time we tried this? Do you still like it like that? Exactly. And nothing's wrong with that, because we're married. That's what it's here for. We're supposed to still be enjoying each other's bodies. And women, we have to remember that men loves the female form, and especially if it's a man that loves you, he loves the female form. Right. And so we get all caught up in our lumps, bumps, stretch marks, this thing, that thing. They don't care. They just love you, and they just want to be, you know, just enjoy you. So enjoy each other's bodies now. Find out, reconnect this, because sometimes you get into that routine of like, okay, it's time to do 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, it's done.
Right. Well, they call that being very vanilla. You're a strong woman of faith too. Where's the church in all of this when it comes to relationships, and what are you seeing? What is the conversation that you're hearing among couples there?
As far as as far as married couples, I think the church is doing a good job of keeping marriages together. But as far as singles go, I think the church is kind of not all churches, but I think churches have kind of dropped the ball on where do people of faith go to find each other, and being able to navigate that well. And I understand why a lot of churches don't want to. Not every church has singles ministries anymore.
Oh,
And I think, yeah, not every church does. And I think because they don't want it to become, like nightclub, we're going to hook up.
right,
But if you can avoid that by establishing boundaries and guidelines. And if anyone who violates that, there should be consequences. However, we should have a place where Christian singles can come and meet each other and get married. So
right,
I think the church has really kind of dropped the ball in that area. And they act like these people are online. They act like these Christian singles aren't online. They act like Christian singles aren't in the clubs. They're meeting people wherever they can, just like everyone else. And we need to, as Christians, we need to have a place for them to meet safely and have guidelines,
right.
biblical guidelines that they're looking for. And so I get real passionate about that because that was the when I did start my business, that was my focus. And I reached out to many churches, just saying, hey, I'm a believer, even my own church. And I didn't get any support, no support whatsoever, saying, look, I'm a Christian matchmaker. And so now I've expanded my business, but I am a person of faith, and I don't turn anyone away if you don't, if you're LGBTQ or whatever. I refer out. I don't necessarily, work with that particular community, but
Right,
I'm from the hospitality industry as well, and so
right.
I like to help people. So
Well, that's very, very important.
yeah.
So now let's switch reels to this domestic violence,
Yes,
and that people are, they feel like they're being suffocated.
yeah,
They're drinking, they're drugging,
yeah,
they're just evil. They're concerned. Their jobs are at jeopardy. They don't have any extra money.
right.
The car note is
I
due.
know.
And so what do you tell that couple?
You know what? This hits home for me because I was a child. I grew up around nothing but domestic violence. I watched my grandfather beat my grandmother. My father beat my mother. My mother's boyfriends would beat her, and I grew up around just it boils down to a poor value system, a lack of self worth. Just it just goes on and on and on. For those people, though, I would say educate yourself. You don't have to, your first reaction doesn't have to be that slap or that curse word or devaluing that person so much through your words. Educate yourself. Now they're on their phones. Learn a new way to communicate, please. Use your words, because that's what helped me. When I was exposed to all this violence, I read a lot. I was a heavy reader as a child. My mother, she was a young mom. She had me the day before her 17th birthday.
Mm,
And so my parents were forced to get married, and it was just a poor value system, a poor way to handle emotions. And I mean, I can go on and have horror stories, but
right,
that's not why I'm here. I understand that environment
right.
of just violence. Everybody just shut up, slap you in the face.
Mm,
I mean, I've seen some horrible things,
right.
but to those people, you have knowledge is power, and they need to educate themselves on both sides.
Right.
Whoever the perpetrator and the victim, and know that there's help and there's another way.
It's awful because now you're isolated, and
Exactly.
the predator has a one up on you. Well,
Yes.
where you gonna go? You gonna go out there with the corona? Ain't nobody's
Yeah.
gonna do nothing for you. Nowhere's open. You can't get a Uber. You can't go to your mama's house. Well, you know what?
You
It's
can.
time to go deep and to strategize. This is the
Exactly.
perfect time to think of an exit plan. Okay,
Exactly.
and figure
And
out how you.
try not to that person's triggers. So try
Right,
not to do those triggers and just minimize everything. You want to keep yourself safe. And that's a lot. You can put a mask on, wrap a t-shirt around your head, and you can get out. You
right,
can get
right.
out.
And there
And
is help. There's always help.
There's
There's always a way
exactly.
out.
So that's just a lie. That's a lie that that person wants to keep you in that bondage. That's a lie. You can always get out. There's always hope. Corona, whatever kind of plague is going on, there are people to help you. The police will still come. They're still answering domestic violence calls. So don't let that person lie to you. There's always hope.
Right. And also, work with your kids, love on your kids, show them, give them options, choices, because this is crazy. And it's never going to go back to the way that it was.
No.
Never is. There's going to be so much trauma. But then too, it's going to be some blessings, because don't you notice, Alisia, the timing? Okay. Resurrection Sunday.
Right.
This all happened during Lent.
Right.
This is a message.
Right.
And we better pay attention, because God is good
all the time.
But he ain't gonna keep telling you.
Right.
He's giving you a visual. Okay, the air is clean. It's rained so much in San Diego, I can't believe it. The Los Angeles basin was clean. Just how people have compassion for one another.
Right.
And it's the perfect pause. You can't do nothing but stay still.
Right.
You have these big mansions. You don't even know half the stuff that's there. Exactly. All these fancy appliances in your kitchen. You don't even know how they work.
And we need to remember, though, we are our brother's keeper. We're seeing from this that we only have each other. And mankind, we were made for love. Yeah. We were made for that, and we are our brother's keeper. So we need to remember that we need each other. We do need each other.
All right, so now you've got the husband that's there with the remote control, not paying you no attention, and you're sitting over there all jawed up. How does a woman get his attention? And then after she gets his attention, how does she create the perfect ambiance, the perfect, moment for them to get together and reconnect? Give us some suggestions.
Well, you have to choose the timing. Timing is everything. Is he sitting there, his jaw tight, watching some old game that he's into? That's not good timing to try to interact with him. So you have to choose your timing. So what I would suggest is to get his attention, make his favorite meal, touch him, just massage him a little bit, and massage him a little bit, and let him know you're into him. You know what? I find men still love compliments. I find you so handsome. I appreciate you. I appreciate how you take care of our family. You make me feel safe. You make me feel honored. You make me feel loved. And I just want you. What man would?
Okay. Wow. I know. And call him by his little pet name.
Yeah. Oh, baby, daddy, whatever.
Yes, girl. Exactly. I call Mr. Magnificent, Mr. Magnificent, and it's all over.
And even if he's not, I love, speaking things that are not as though they are. Still, speak it anyway. You're the most amazing man. You my stud muffin. You this, you that, whatever it is. Exactly. So men need that. It's how you make someone feel, and we forget that men need to feel that too. Right. And if you make them feel honored, respected, and loved, then you make them feel safe to act in the way that you want them to. So a wise woman told me that a man is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck that turns that head and holds everything together.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Right?
All right. So what do you say to the man to engage his woman?
Same thing. It works in reverse. But women, we're all about, if he cleans the house, takes care of the kids,
girl, what? There's nothing sexier than a man that can whip up a meal.
Oh, I know, and clean the house the way you want it, not the way he wants it, but the way you like it.
And then don't make me laugh. Don't have.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It's over there. Being funny. Touch her too. Touch is really important, but touch it in the right time. Touch her in a way where you don't have an expectation of sex. Right. Because you'll get it anyway. Because women, it takes us a while to kind of get there. We have so many things going on in our head and this and there, and sometimes we're not just like that. It takes us a minute. You gotta. Oh, he cleaned the house today. Oh my goodness, he read to the kids, fed them, and put them to bed.
Now it's time to get it on.
Well, see, it's the build up for the woman. It's the build
Exactly.
up for the woman. So understanding you're both different, but God created us that way, and it's just our differences that makes us complete.
Exactly. Create an ambiance. Light the candles. You got a
Yeah.
million of them. Everybody got a million candles. Light the candles, put on some music, turn off the television. You know, you don't have to make a meal. You can put some cheese and crackers on some
Exactly.
grapes on a platter and feed them to him, girl. One time I
Exactly.
killed Mr. Magnificent's grapes. I woke up 2 days later, there was a nice little Tiffany box there.
See?
He said, wow. He says, I knew you was into me, baby. You peeled my grapes.
Well, that's because you made him feel special, and the whole thing is about how you make someone feel. But here's another tip for those who they have a full house now. How you gonna get busy and do all that and things like that? So whatever your space is, you're going to have to, maybe set aside, let everyone know that this is our time. You don't have to tell them what you're doing, but even in this time, you can have some boundaries. You may need some me time, daytime, or whatever. But let everyone know from 2 to 4 that we won't be as available unless you guys are bleeding or something like that. But or it could even just be 30 minutes. Let's say, look,
Right.
this is mommy and daddy time. We're gonna be talking, and you guys will get your time. You're gonna have your time, so it's a win-win on both sides. So yeah, so make time if you have a full house. But it's just setting up those boundaries and having everybody understand. Or if you guys take a bath together, if you guys, if you have a big enough bathroom, take a bath, take a shower together, whatever you got going on. If everybody's there and just they don't know, nobody knows what's going on in your bedroom, but you guys could be in there showering everything up.
Exactly.
So be creative.
That's been wonderful. You have just been a wealth of information. You are a wonderful soul, and I see why you've been married for a long time. Me too. And Brains, this takes work.
Okay? Yeah.
This is a full-time job, commitment.
Yeah.
It's about commitment. It's beyond the vows that you took. Now you have to act on them. And especially when you look in the world today, folks is dying 800, 900 per day. You have to hold on to what you have. And you always think the grass is greener on the other side.
It still got to get mowed.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and it may not be. You think something else is happening out there, and you're gonna run into some mess. Okay. Please, Alisia, tell my brains how to get in contact with you to do some work. We can do work online. Okay.
Absolutely.
We can meet via Zoom. She's got a whole a whole catalog of information, tools, tips to keep us through this, to keep us connected, to keep us in love. Tell us how to get in contact with you.
Certainly. Well, my website is bamatchmaking.com. So B for Bonjour, A for Amour. So bamatchmaking.com. And then my email address is findlove@bamatchmaking.com. And my phone number is 760-695-6399. And that's to schedule a free complimentary 30-minute consultation. Or if you just want to talk and you're in the midst of a relationship issue or whatever, if I can't help you, I can direct you to someone who can. Again, I don't believe in turning anyone away. I always refer out and I always try to help you.
Well, you are love, really. And love looks like it suits you. You just glow.
Oh, thank you.
And we're going to hang in there.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. Thank you, all the brains.
Yeah, brains. Again, it's time to love one another. And you know what? This is another tip. If you're not feeling the person, just get through the corona and then consciously uncouple. Right. Okay? Keep your hands to yourself.
Right. Yeah.
If your words had an odor, what would they smell like?
Yeah.
Think about what you say. These are your children that you're acting out in front of.
Yeah.
You are acting out. Yeah. You are creating mini monsters, or you are building up angels. The choice is yours. Okay? We're here for you on the edge 24/7. Any questions, any comments, leave them, because Alisia definitely wants to know. It helps her grow. It helps her deliver the messages that are important to you and what's resonating in your mind, so that she can stay on top of her game and help you stay on top of yours. Thank you again, Precious. Come on back to the edge, okay? You ain't got to wait till the corona's over, because I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here in love.
Okay, thank you, April.
Bye, friends.